Michael, how much would you let an AI agent spend on your behalf?
Probably up to $1,000 right now.
Welcome to Reality Checks. I am Brian, and I'm joined today by Michael Nevski, Director of Global Insights at Visa. We partnered together on a survey of 1,000 Americans, and Michael has not seen the results. Welcome.
Thank you, Brian. I am very excited to be here today. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for joining us. And I know we're talking about agentic AI, or the use of AI agents to do work and shopping for people. Why did we pick that topic?
I think that's one of the hottest topics in our industry, I mean, research, as well as overall consumer and financial services and retail, because consumers craving for efficiencies. And I think agentic AI will provide those efficiencies and support for consumers' needs and desires. And we're going to talk about that today.
Cool. And I know you've worked with YouGov in the past, but again, you have not seen these results. You're going in blind.
You're absolutely right. And not only in the past, I'm your current client, full disclosure. So we have a working relationship with a wonderful YouGov team. So, and hopefully familiar with your syndicated and your custom products, which I've been using both sides of your business. So
Cool. Well, I want to make you look smart. You're a current client, but I don't want to make you look too smart, because then there's nothing interesting in the podcast. So we'll, a few questions that are easy, a few that are not so easy. We'll see how you do.
yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about that.
All right. First question is, how many Americans would use AI to shop for them? And this is, AI agents.
Yeah. Based on my primary research and secondary research, I think, and I've been tracking this for my quarterly consumer survey for the last almost 2 years. What we see back in July, about 30% of consumers saying that they already use generative AI for shopping. But I think the most recent results, because it accelerated very fast, a recent survey, Darden, I think, published the results that it's about 59 to 60% of consumers in US saying that I would use generative AI when I shop. And that rapid adoption, because we're hitting the early majority, so it's going to be a late majority of people realizing that at least not agentic AI, but generative AI, with the new technology being connected to real life internet results, search results, right? So realize that it's very efficient way to conduct my shopping, because it eliminates the noise of that analysis paralysis of 200 offers, right? I can just focus on what I prefer, one or two products or services, and generative AI can give me that information at the tip of my fingers, right? So very quickly, very efficiently. And that's what I see now.
So you're seeing around 60% for generative AI. What about agentic AI?
I think agentic AI is a little bit different animal at this point. The ecosystem needs to be enabled. That means that merchants, issuers, acquirers, and networks needs to enable that technology. And while the networks already are ready to provide that service, the merchants and issuers still in a stage where we have that early adoption of the technology. So that's why my prediction, and again, you're asking me what I'm thinking, my prediction is probably 20 to 30% of consumers saying I would use agentic AI to conduct, to use it during my path to purchase journey experience. Because there are some aspects we're probably going to talk about more later, which needs to be solved for disputes, right? Risk, privacy. Those aspects still kind of front and center for consumers, because they need to make sure that they can trust that technology from those perspectives. And that's what we need to really provide for consumers, to make sure they build that trust, they build the confidence in the technology before they can adopt the technology.
All right. So we're looking at 20 to 30%, and the answer is 12 to 42%, depending on how you look at it. So I would say that's about right in the sweet spot there.
Oh, so 12 to 30. So that means really, actually, it's 42%. You see, I was a little bit off the mark here if we were talking about top two boxes, right? So very likely somewhat likely. That's great. Wow.
Yeah, we're using for the future cuts, we'll be using the top two box. So that 42% of Americans who said that they would likely use it.
Oh, wait. So you're talking about AI, the AI, agentic AI, not all generative AI, but agentic. Because generative, I predicted that would be higher, but agentic AI, that's what I was thinking, 20 to 30 or so. It's actually, in actuality, it's about 40%
Yep.
for 2 out of 5 consumers. That's great. That's awesome result. It's exceeded my expectations.
Cool. So which generation is most likely to use agentic AI, shopping AI agents?
Yeah, Brian, that's a great question. So I think it's a bridge millennials, 35 to 44, and I think Gen Z. And I think that probably around 40% for especially millennials saying, I would say that they would adapt, and it's the highest probably rate among all of them. So, and also Gen Z very much open to that. So that's why my prediction would be millennials, 35 to 44. That means all the millennials and Gen Zers.
All right. So the guess is Gen Z millennials and
Oh,
uh, just a little bit, 48%. But you got it right. You got the
yeah,
generations exactly right.
yeah. But you see, so that's what I was thinking about 50 to 60. So it's Gen Z about 50. Yeah, that was my lower prediction and millennials. Good. Awesome. I love it. It's like a game, you know. So
How did you get that right? What made you predict that?
because knowing that Gen Z are the digital natives, right, and the younger millennials as well, they're very prone to adopt a new technology to look for efficiencies, to look for personalization, and that's why knowing, like we discussed, about 40% saying already in general, that means the rate of adoption among younger consumers is higher by 10 to 20%, and that's where was my ballpark. uh, that's how I build my prediction
Makes sense.
based on my knowledge and my research from the past.
So this is looking at that 42% again, the likely agentic AI users, the AI shoppers. What safeguards do they want in place?
I think number one, strong data privacy and security protection because consumers still concerned about the personal identifiable information. I think ability to set and restrict spending limits because when you use the agentic AI, you tell the agent go and act on my behalf. Let's say I give you the limit $1,500 to acquire an online ticket to the place where I want to go, most efficient route, most efficient price, right? So, and that's what we're gonna see that consumers probably would like to have those spending limits set up by them. I think because it's still early in terms of the technology adoption, trust needs to be built. So that means approval requirement before purchase. So consumers still want to oversee that. And when an agent comes back, say, I found this route from New York to London on such and such date, and it's within those $1,500 limits. So I want to review and approve or reject that as a consumer because I want to be in charge of my financial situation, right? Also, transparency over how my data is being used. Not only privacy, but what are you going to do with my data? I want to make sure that brands will collect that via agentic AI, do that in an ethical way. I think consumers also want to have easy controls to turn AI on or off. Let's say if it's something very emotional to me and I'm looking for something I know for sure exactly what I need, but I want to still make that decision because maybe there are some nuances within that experience or physical product. I want to be able to make that decision by controlling the technology. And last but not least, it needs to be human customer service backup for errors, right? So that means if something happened, I can easily pick up the phone or go on a chat and contact somebody human who can understand the semantics of this transaction or this situation and help me quickly and efficiently. Those are key parameters, I think, which we need to consider consumers would want when they shop with agentic AI technology.
All right. So that sounds like a lot of safeguards.
Yes, yes.
So here
And
is what we're seeing. Yeah, good. Oh yeah, we got to get the sound effects.
yes, here you go. Yeah. So require human review for any transactions over a certain amount. A financial panic button to instantly halt all AI activities, like I was saying, right? So either easy controls to turn AI on and off, right? Or human customer service backup for errors, right? So definitely real-time spending notifications with data windows or spending limits. So similar in that, and complete transaction history with plain English explanations. That's another one. I probably didn't. I probably missed that one. Actually, 52%. That one kind of yes, very good addition because consumers want to really understand if they trust fully technology and technology start making multiple transactions. Then I want to see that. That's a great point, actually. Thank you, Brian. That's awesome. I love it. I love our discussion.
Yeah, thank 1,000 Americans on weighing in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so another question that we asked was, if you're letting an AI agent shop for you, how much would you authorize them to automatically spend without you needing to weigh in?
And that's another great question. Based on my research, and I already mentioned that number as an example, I think it's going to be under $1,500. That's kind of very much attainable. That's the comfort level for majority of consumers where they feel okay for technology to use that limit within $1,500.
So you said 1,500.
Yep.
Okay. I think if we lowered that a bit, we'd be closer. If you want to do a second guess.
I would say then $1,000.
$1,000. Okay. I think the sweet spot was probably up to 100.
Oh, really? Wow. I see. Interesting. Interesting. I'm learning something new too. So that's great. So I missed that question, but under 100. So 33%. Wow. So that means 25 to 100 and 100 to 200. Interesting. Wow. That's great. That's great. So $100. But you see how the replies are scattered? Almost 33%. I mean, almost one third of them, 28% actually were not willing to provide any limit, right? So that means they don't want to use the technology yet. They're not the late majority yet. So it's really between $25 and $100 to under 25. So that's where the majority, 53% saying yes. That's very interesting. Wow. Good. Good to know. So that means people still need to develop the trust into the technology. We're still dealing with probably innovators or early adopters here, as you can see, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, and I wonder too how much this is the broad spectrum of people across America. So, if it's like percentage of net income, maybe that's different. Whereas for some people, 1,500 is a regular purchase. For other people, it's their biggest purchase of the year.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, I remember that book, Crossing the Chasm. So it also shows, like I said, it's probably innovators, right, who really open to set up any limits yet, right? So, but my prediction, again, I'm still kind of very opinionated about that. Once we hit the late majority, let's say so 1, 2, 3 years down the road, then you will see those limits going up when consumers adapt to the technology. That number 28% in red gonna shrink significantly. Few years down the road, I'm very confident about that, and then we're gonna see a little bit larger dollar limits among consumers. So willing to risk that, I guess. But risk is not a good word, but really feel comfortable with that. So, but yeah, that's a great data point and great insight, Brian. Thank you for sharing with me.
It was your question. Thank you. All right. What shopping data would Americans share with AI? And we gave them a few options and told them to mark all that apply. So to just make better shopping decisions, what do they feel comfortable giving their AI agents?
So I think purchase history, like past purchase and spending patterns. I think product preferences. Do we have that? Your household financial, I would not share non-transaction. We don't have a product, right? So because I think that's your purchase history, that's your preferences. I think that one would be important, but we don't have that on the list. And also demographic interest, right? So that like vacation data probably. So past purchase and spending patterns. I'm going to give you the top three, right? So I think vacation data probably, and I think your household's financial needs and goals. I would not pick the top three health appointments and medical expenses because health is still being something very private for consumers. But also, I would not share any data with AI. Probably it's pretty high right now, based on previous question as well, because still 46% of consumers not willing to share any data right now with agentic AI. So it would be top choice as well. So again, I go for fast purchase. Actually, let me roll out social media activities and interest, and I think your household's financial needs and goals, as well as not willing to share any data. Those four.
All right, let's see what the reality is. And got the sound effects ready. Ta-da!
Oh, past purchase and spending patterns. I was pretty much like you see vacation data. I was thinking about that, and your household financial needs and goals. Wow, wow. You see, I got spooked by the previous question. You see, I was biased by research, right? So, and as a human being, I thought, okay, maybe so, but yeah, I was on the right path. But those two, top two actually, so in the household financial needs and goals. Yes, that's what I thought because that's probably what consumers needs to achieve. Great information. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and then didn't ask you about the gender splits, but thought it was interesting that there was such a variance for location data.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. You see, because males are very much more comfortable to share that data versus females because they're much more cautious, as you can imagine, right? Because vacation, that means identifying where I am in the world, right? So safety issue. So
Makes sense. And then this was the last question, and I don't know if this is fun, but it's a good, it's a good thing to sort out is if an AI shopping agent purchased something and the person who it purchased for didn't want it, who's responsible for fixing that?
a few factors here. So consumers are expected to review and approve AI purchases. So in order to reduce risk, right? So that's why I'm kind of thinking out loud, who's responsible? One of them, companies selling the item was purchased, right? That's number one. I think also developers or providers of the network. So that means the payment network, which I represent. That's number two. And I think a regulatory body. I think consumers still want to rely on actual government or regulatory institutions to provide that base, right? So those are probably top three for me. The company selling the item purchased because company needs to realize that we're still using the technology. Technology can go wrong and provide that for kind of a free return or easy return policy. Government providing some guidance and network which facilitates that ease of return. So
you thought that like payment network like Visa, where you're working, would be like the second most ranked.
I think probably companies selling, I think providing the regulations, and I think network is number three, probably, right? But of course, we can think of the company offering the AI service, right? Your bank, your travel agency, but again, it's kind of a to me, the company selling the item purchased and the company offering AI services needs to be very close, almost go hand in hand, because the seller using the technology to enable that, and they pretty much being held responsible very close in a sense because they're working in a very close partnership. So, but I would put the network as number three.
Okay, and then me, the user who is using an AI agent, the AI agent spends my money. I'm not responsible if the AI agent spends my money.
I think consumers would have a tendency saying that I rely on technology, I give the parameters, right? And if technology bought me a wrong item, it's on technology, not on me as a consumer. That's why, and I know you're asking me, but I don't want to change my opinion. So again, I think company selling, I think it's company offering the AI service, let's put it this way. Yes, I'll change my mind. So the company selling the item, the company offering the AI service, and regulatory body. Let's put it this way. Those three.
All right.
Final answer.
Final answer. You'll be
Ta-da!
pleased to know payment network is fifth.
Yes, you see,
Lowest
that's right. I changed
expectations.
that. Yes, I changed that. Yes, here we go. So the company offering AI service, the AI developing company, company selling. I see. So I'm glad that consumers feel that they're partially responsible for that. You see, because I thought the company selling the item would be top three, but actually it's not the case. You, the user, yes, that's great. So consumers feel responsibility for their purchase decisions. So that's great to know. That's
Well,
another great insight. That's the biggest aha moment for me, actually. Yeah.
that's great. I mean, we'll see if people actually feel like that when they have to deal with it directly. It's hypothetical, but that was what the survey said.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, so that means us as humans, we feel the responsibility too. Not always the company providing a service or products, right, or regulations. And you see, the regulatory body is actually at the very end. That's great to know. We take our responsibility for our actions. That's awesome. We still have a hope as a humanity. Just kidding.
Yeah, just kidding. No hope. No, no. Um, Thanks for joining Reality Checks. It sounds like some of the insights were good. We'll have more at yougov.com/realitychecks. And where, Michael, can people find you?
My LinkedIn profile, Michael Nevski. And also, I present at lots of conferences and events. So hopefully our paths cross, but contact me via LinkedIn. I'm happy to connect and build a network and answer any questions you might have. So thank you, Brian. It was
Thank you
so
so
much
much.
fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching Reality Checks. Everything in this episode was based on a survey of 1,000 Americans using YouGov Survey Self-Serve. If you want to learn more about agentic AI, you're going to have to read it yourself. An AI agent can't do it for you. I mean, it probably could, but are you going to know? No. Go over to yougov.com/realitychecks. You can see more that we didn't get into the episode today because of time. Anyway, I'm Brian. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.